Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 21, and it is time for round 7 of our MotoGP career mode, and it's time for the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, here in the Catalan GP. So here it is then, time for practice sessions. We'll be doing the practice and then the qualifying within this same video, but of course, the most important part being the race in 4 hours time, so we've got to concentrate on getting the best possible lap times we can in the practice session and then in the qualifying. Now usually I go pretty well here in Catalunya. I think we did a decent race here last season, although I didn't qualify too well. I want to completely change that. I want to rectify that here, and I want to try and take a good, solid qualifying position, so whether we can get into the top 10, that would be fine. The goal here is in practice just to get into Q2. The lap time so far looking to be roughly a 1:38.9 to beat, with Enea Bastianini sitting at the top of the timing sheets, but you can see a couple of names next to our names at the back of the grid so far, such as Savadori, Zarco, Vinales and Marc Marquez, all riders who are probably going to be improving upon that position. Possibly not Savadori, he just lost a little bit of time in the third split, and Marquez currently looking a little bit rough in his home track. He's got 3 white sectors, or 3 non-improvements, as we now go very tight to the apex of La Caixa. The modified turn 10, much more improved than the previous installments of La Caixa. I really like this particular version of the track, although I didn't mind the bus stop chicane too much. I mean, it's still prevalent in other games, but I'm just not really a fan of it compared to the new La Caixa. I really like that new corner style, and very strong braking into that corner as well, so it's certainly boding well for us right now. But full acceleration, and we'll get across the line to get a good indication of where we're going to be. Across the line we will go, and we will move up to 18th place, and just 0.6 of a second behind Enea Bastianini, so it's that close. One more tenth could put me up a little bit further up as well, and maybe a few more could get me on the front row. That's how close this session is right now. So into the first sector, we are down by 68,000th of a second, but it is a orange sector, so we are pretty good so far. A personal best for us as we go very hard on the brakes going into the 4th corner here in Catalunya. Be very careful of touching the rumble strip there. Remember last season when we were at this track, I had a massive moment braking on the rumble strip there, and it just sent me so wide. As we now go very firm on the brakes for turn 5, the rear tyre was lighting up a little bit on the right hand side there. I'm going to be gentle on the accelerations. We quickly upshift going into the gears, going into the left hander for turn 7 for the TV3, nice and tight to the apex, chuck it to the right and quickly upshift. I upshift too many times. I went up to 3rd gear instead of just going up into 2nd, but onto the right hand side for turn 9, bringing on the accelerations of quite possibly my strongest section of this track. Sector 1 is fantastic for us as well, but this one we are very good, and there you go, we did improve, but goodness me, we were stopped. Oh my lord, tried everything in our power to try and stop this motorcycle, but unfortunately we did run it a little bit wide. I think we'll still improve, but it's not going to be by as much as I would have thought, I don't believe, but we'll get on the right hand side for turn 12, and we'll continue the power and the acceleration going into the final corner and then across the line. So into the right hand side we will go. Soft front looking a bit worse for wear. May have to change the tyres very, very soon, but across the line we will go. We will improve, but to where? Up into the top 10. That is excellent. That is exactly where we need to be. So a quick change of the tyres, and we're still in the top 10, but by very, very small margins. I don't want to risk it by going into the end of the session and just automatically getting booted to Q1 without us even knowing. So we'll see for the time being. Let's get a couple more laps in, or at least until we can improve to the top 6 or something similar to. But we do have the medium front and the medium rear. I did feel like the soft was just burning up a little bit too much as we go very firm on the brakes for the right hander for turn 4, running it very, very deep there, my mistake. But we will get the cut, getting into the nice tight apex for the 4th corner, and then we must brake hard for turn 5, chucking the rear tyre out. You see it sliding. The Aprilia is not a fan of being chucked around sometimes in those tighter corners, but we're still up by, down by a 1/10 of a second to Enea Bastianini, but we are going to improve our lap time nonetheless, and that is all that matters right now. We don't necessarily have to be top, we just have to get into qualifying 2 without a hitch. So on the right hand side, let's bring on the acceleration, and in this sector where we brake extremely late for La Caixa, I think we're going to improve quite a significant amount, and we certainly do. We're up by a 1/10 of a second, we were down by a 1/10, so that means we have gained 2/10 of a second in the 3rd split. So now onto the right hand side for turn 11, bring it on nicely on the acceleration, and then we can charge down to past turn 12, and then through turn 13. But onto the right-hand side, nice and tight. Bring on the acceleration, but gently. You don't want to go on the rumble strip there because it can get very, very wobbly, but really tight to the apex this time for the Europe car. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Bang! Full acceleration and get across the line. I think this is going to be enough for the... Oh my goodness, it is. It's top spot. Grant is in top. So at the end of the practice session, Grant leads away with a 93,000th of a second ahead of Enea Bastianini, a 10th ahead of Petrucci, and another 10th ahead of Miguel Oliveira. But now it's time for qualifying 2, and we did manage to survive without even losing a single position. So let's see what we can do. I guess if we're going to be that quick on those medium tyres, a pole position could very well be in our chances here today. So here we go then, qualifying time. A hard front and a soft rear. I'm trying this combination out first, getting a feel for the qualifying session, and then I might swap to the mediums because that was the lap time we did extremely well on in the previous practice session. But already into the first split we are up by a 10th and a bit, but that doesn't really matter too much because Jorge Martin, it's kind of just a basic banker lap in for him. I don't think he's actually really pushing fully. I mean, it is only a couple of tenths away from the 139s we were in just a moment ago, but still, I don't believe that will be enough to take the pole position. So here we go then, going into turn 5, a little bit more controlled compared to what we did on the previous lap, where we actually improved the lap in the end of the practice session. And now moving into this left-hander, this combination of corners I do really enjoy. Up by 0.8 of a second, good lord. That is very, very quick from Grant. He is certainly looking a bit racy right now as we go into turn 9. Can we get it right, going super tight to the apex and then bringing on the acceleration very, very steadily. Oh, beautifully done. On the firm brakes we go for turn 10. How are we going to get on for this corner? Where are we going to be? 1.3 seconds. Good lord, this could be one heck of a lap. That could roughly be a 138. If we can get into the 138s, I'm going to call it curtains. I think that's it. I don't think we'll need to even improve upon that. But we'll see how it goes. But for the time being, as long as we don't mess up this final sector, I think we've got a pretty good chance of getting the pole position. Onto the rumble strip just a little bit. Probably lost a little bit of time, but nonetheless we're still very, very positive. Hard front, soft rear combination looks to be pretty fine and dandy. Across the line we will go. It's a 138.568. Goodness me, how about that then? I'm only seeing grey sectors right now from behind us, and look at us braking into turn 1. How much rear brake was being applied there? Answers in the comment section down below. Lord almighty, that was very, very firm. But now onto the right hand side for turn 3. I think it's going to be a very interesting qualifying lap now, because is that going to be enough? Is that one lap going to be enough to secure us a pole position? Is that going to be our 3rd pole position of the season? I think that's more than last season already. Well, may at least be tied. We're going to have to check later on, or if anyone else in the comment section can tell me. That is just terrific. I'm really happy with that one. Really happy. I am seeing some orange sectors in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, or rather the top left-hand corner. Miguel Oliveira, Martin, Leclerc, Bastianini, Petrucci, Bagnaia and Quartararo. So we'll get a good indication once they complete their laps. But for the time being, I'm seeing nothing significant, and unfortunately this soft tyre was a one and done job. I don't think it's going to last another lap, so we'll jump into the pits and we'll change the tyres and see if we need to go for another qualifying lap up. For the time being, ooh, Brad Binder has just cut the deficit to half. It's now a 0.6 of a second gap. So Binder, Oliveira on this provisional front row as things stand. I am going to just dive into the pits as mentioned, and then we'll get a good look to see what everyone's running. So into the pits we'll go, and let's see what happens after the pits. And oh my lord, we lost time. Miller is now in pole position. Martin is in second, but we only trail by one and a little bit, a 10th of a second. A 10th and a 14,000th of a second. We definitely have a chance of a pole position. I'm not going to be too mad if we don't get the pole position, but at the same time, that lap time that I put in, I didn't think anyone was going to be able to catch. Wow. Jack Miller, Martin are on it. They are really on it right now. Even Bagnaia is only a 10th of a second behind me. And there's Fabio Quartararo and Enea Bastianini having a fantastic qualifying session. Shout out to the... well, he was a rookie. He still is kind of a rookie in the video game form, but he's also in his 2nd season because this is the... Never mind, it's Enea Bastianini. You know who he is. Onto the left-hand side, we'll go for the TB3. Shift it up to 2nd gear and bring on the acceleration. We are still hovering about a 10th of a second. Let's see if we can gain any time going into Lacaisha, so we're roughly down by 1/10 of a second. Bringing on the acceleration with Power Steering 3 with the medium combination of tyres, which I neglected to mention, we're up by 4.5 of a second. But I've run it wide. I have run it wide and I've lost a lot of time. There's only 15 seconds of this session remaining. I don't know whether I'm going to get the job done here. Unless we mess it up going into the final corner, this pole position should be ours. I've ran it a little bit deep going into turn 12. Can we salvage anything going on the right-hand side? It's getting a bit messy for the Europe car. I think we lost too much time. Oh, I think I've blown it. Oh, is it going to be... Oh, no, on the rumble strip there. Oh, I hesitated. Oh, no. This looked like we had the pole position in the bag, but unfortunately, the two Ducatis have decided to upset the apple carts and upset the aces. No more third pole position. Sadly, not for us today. So Miller will start in pole position with Martin and Grant on the front row. Pretty happy with that one, to be honest with you guys, and I hope you are too. If you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comments section down below. Like, comment and subscribe as well if you really enjoyed it, and I will see you at 6 PM for the Grand Prix. So thanks for watching as always, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.